I'm Joey.
And I'm Alex.
And we're here to talk about Endless Winter.
I'm sure it's a game that no one has ever heard about before. Surprise!
Yeah, the game, not like an actual Endless Winter.
Yeah, I wonder what that would be like.
Yeah, you don't know what winter would be like.
I don't. I live in Florida and I'm from Australia. You know, I have seen snow once in my life and I was 30.
So you didn't really see snow. It was like the dirty type of snow.
Yeah, it was snow in April in Michigan. So
yeah, like
take that
it's
as
been down for a week.
I know. Yeah.
So
yeah. So
anyway, before we talk about Endless Winter, a lot of buzz about it.
Yes.
Everyone loves the game. Kickstarter was huge. So before we talk about what we thought about the game, let's take a look at how the game is played. Okay, so here's how to play Endless Winter pretty quick. It is set up right now for a 2-player game. The first player board right here is set up. You've got your camps, you've got your villages, and you've got all of your resources right here. And you've got your monoliths, and everybody gets a starting card here that shows them what resources they start with. So I started with 3 axes, 2 food, and I also have an animal here. And then I've got one of these tribe cards in my deck. So it is a deck building game as well as area control. The good thing about this game, one of the greatest things, first of all, the minis. Everybody's going to start with 2 minis right here. I'm sorry, 2 workers and these minis. These minis are great, by the way. They're fantastic. The detail on these is incredible. So you've got these right here, and then also it is a deck building game, like I said, and area control. So we've got the cards, and I will go through real quick what the cards are. These type of cards right here have resources on them that you can spend on the track over here. You also have a choice to spend them for the resources or to spend them for the ability right here, or to use them at the eclipse phase, which is later. They also give you victory points. So now let's go through the actions. There is a player aid, which is great. The player aid does show you exactly what to do as you go through the game. I do wish these were smaller. I don't know why they chose this size, because they could have easily chosen this size, but they wanted you to have a monocle when you read it. So anyway, here it is right here. So now let's go through exactly what you can do. Like I said, it is worker placement. Everybody also gets a chief, which is this mini right here. And the main thing he does is he gives you an ability. Your card has 2 sides. You choose at the beginning which side to use, and you have that ability for the entire game. So let's go through the action. When you go somewhere, if you're the first person there, you cannot block anyone. However, if you're the first person there, you are the only one that gets this action right here. Okay, so let's go through the actions real quick. If I go on the first track right here, the first one enables me to get a tribe card. The second one, costing food, will allow me to get a tribe card and then place it in my discard pile over here, and I also get to bury a card. You can bury a card for the cards in your deck. Ones you don't want or aren't that useful, you can put them under here, and that counts as burying a card. It also helps you with in-game scoring with the idle, which we'll get to in a second. And then at the bottom, if you're the first one there, you get to move your idle up 1, and you also get to bury another card. Second one is what allows you to get a culture card. That are these cards. Those are these cards right here. And these are the first wave cards. If you'll notice, it is broken down here. So this is kind of phase 1, then phase 2. So these are the first ones, and these will then go into your deck. And you can grab that here. Now, the second one right there will enable you to get a sacred stone. You would grab one of those stones over there, pay the cost, place it here, and then you get whatever you placed it on, and that will help you in the eclipse phase later. And then if you're the first one there, you get a meat and an X. So the third one is going to be how we use this area control board over here. So first off, this will allow you to put some camps on the board, and then also allow you to move them. Eventually, you might go ahead and move them in an area like this, and if you have 3 in surrounding sections here, then you can remove those. You can pay the cost, remove these, and drop a camp. Now, the reason you drop a camp is because you do get to a village. These are camps. This will allow you to score more. Instead of scoring 1 per camp, this will score 2 for every single one of these areas, and these score during the eclipse phase. So then the final one is hunting. So you can pay to reveal 2 more cards, or You can then pay an axe and a food to take one of these animals. These animals pretty much are just set collection right here. So you can collect a set. It shows you how many you get for each one, or you can eat this animal for its resources. In order to do that, you would just set it down and you would tap it. That it does not any longer score at the end for the set. However, you do get the resources from it. And those are the animals, and those are the 4 actions you can take. Like I said, it's nice you can't block, but going there first does give you an ability. Now let's go over here to the idol, which I mentioned right here. Every time you get an idol, whether it's here or some of these cards allow you to manipulate the idol, you move it up, and this allows you to score more for the resources at the end of the game, or for your buried cards at the end of the game. So that is going to help with final game scoring. Then the other thing we've got is right over here, the monolith board, which we haven't gone to in yet. But a monolith board is some of these cards right here. For example, this culture card has a monolith right here. This monolith, what you're doing over here is pretty much you're going to place these on the board, and wherever you place those, you are going to get what is underneath it. And later, you're going to score victory points once you can have a second layer of monoliths. So that board is going on as well. And the more you uncover these, they're going to get you more things later. So that is pretty much what everybody goes. Then you have moved from the first round into the eclipse phase. Just like that. So it's going action phase, action, eclipse, rinse and repeat. So now the eclipse phase. The eclipse phase, everybody has their cards, and you're going to play whatever cards you still have in your hand, the ones you want to play. You're going to take them and you're going to turn them face down, and that is your eclipse pile. Then you're going to flip, and whoever has the most resources right here will then go higher on the track. And this track enables you to get different resources. You'll notice at the bottom, if you're the top of the track, you can get a megalith. I said monolith. It is a megalith over here, or you can get anything below it. So this enables you to get different resources. And then you would score these terrain tiles right here. Now, these right here, if I have control here, then I would score 2 victory points for this. I get to move my idol, and I would get an axe right here. And then you would score your player board, which is right here. You would score your player board, so any stones you have here will show things that could happen towards the end. And then you would also be able to get a card, and you'd score anything you've got here, and all that would score at the end of the eclipse phase. So then after you finish that eclipse phase, you would move on to round 2. And then you would rinse, repeat, go through and count up final game scoring, counting all of this, idle, cards in hand, and everything. So that is pretty much, in a nutshell, how you play Endless Winter. Let's send it back to the studio and see what we thought about it. Okay, so that is pretty much Endless Winter in a nutshell.
Absolutely, in a nutshell, very much. Yes. There's so much going on in this game.
There is. Now, first off, let's just get the components out of the way.
Okay, yeah.
Component-wise, just gorgeous.
Oh, they
right?
look amazing. I like how the minis look. I like how the artwork looks. I like how all the pieces look. It all looks great. My only thing I will say about the components is sometimes they're a little big. So when they're on the board, sometimes if you're at the wrong angle, it will block something. So you do your turn and you forget that you've actually forgotten to do something because the mini that you placed is blocking something. That's something that really only happens the first round, I found, because after that you kind of know what's going to happen, so you're prepared for it. But just you do need to be aware that it does kind of block stuff, some of the markings.
It does, and the biggest thing is the minis are great. I mean, the artwork is great. It is a table hog. And normally games like this, playmats help. They kind of help consolidate and kind of have everything have its place. This one, the playmat I didn't like as much.
No, we played ones with the table mat and ones without it. I preferred when we played it without. It kind of worked a little. The placement worked better than how the table the mat helped.
Right.
What's it called again?
The playmat.
There we go. I was like table mat. I'm like, that's not it.
No, playmat.
That's it. That's the one I'm looking for.
So this game has several different aspects.
Yes.
It's got the area control.
It does.
It's got deck building and set collection.
Correct.
So there's a lot, and then it's got the little mini game with the megaliths over there on the board. So it's got a lot going on.
It does have a lot going on. I was going to say it's very loose in the deck building. That's not something.
Yeah.
If you're wanting a really heavy deck building, this is not the game for you. Also, I was going to say the area control, which is what you do in the terrain tiles.
Right.
I love area control, and I wish I could have done that more in this game. I understand why it was limited. Otherwise, then it would be purely an area control game. But you were very limited in what you could do in that little area.
I found the same thing. I find myself wanting to go more into the area control, but then you kind of get locked down on that. There's you can be. It's like it does a little bit of everything,
yes,
but not a lot of anything.
No, that's exactly it too. And you only have three villages to place.
Right.
So you're very limited in your area control. You know, and then I guess you can put your extra camps out if you want extra control elsewhere, but you kind of feel useless because you can't make your village. So you're limited. Like, that's what I mean. I feel like the area control could have been more.
Yeah, I felt like I was wanting more of every aspect of it, especially
absolutely.
the area control.
Yeah.
Like you said, deck building isn't there.
Oh, no.
And set collection, it's kind of like sometimes it matters.
Yeah.
And the theme on it is just pasted on.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, I mean, the hunting, I did enjoy the hunting.
I did like that too. That
Being
was
able
good.
to grab that and use them for resources or the set collection.
Yes. I was going to say that was the one thing I did like about the monoliths is that you could use those.
Megaliths.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
You even looked at your notes and said the same
I
thing.
wanted to make sure I said it right. I said
She
it
even pointed to megaliths and said monoliths.
I have it written down correctly. Well, you guys all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I do like how you could get the bonuses on that too. That was nice. So you could get those as well as the hunting. That was nice.
Right, and that's the thing. The iconography on this, it's a little bit hard, like to know the tribe cards, the culture cards, things like that. But the good thing is there's a player aid that can help walk you through that.
Yes.
So you do find yourself referring to that quite a few times.
We actually printed one out for everybody too, because that was something we kept having to hand stuff around, and then we're like, let's just print this out for everybody, so there's less going backwards and forwards. That was good. Yeah.
Yeah, and as far as like the there's so many paths to victory, so you can focus on. Really, you have to do everything.
That was one of my next point I was going to say. You have to do everything to be able to get a good score. You can't just focus on the terrain. You can't just focus on the megaliths. I have to do it again. You can't just focus on the megaliths. You have to do a little bit of everything to get a good score here. So you have to be able to do that.
I did appreciate like the tribe cards. There are so many different options once you have a card in your hand.
Yeah.
You can use it for the labor or the currency. You can use it for the ability, and then you can also wait and save it for the eclipse phase.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. It's a very thinky when it comes to that type of stuff, which can be good or bad. I mean, it really you can really get some AP on that type of stuff, which is a big problem.
That's what I was going to say. If you have the AP problem, this is probably not the game for you, because there's so many choices on your turn.
Yeah.
And you do have the whole round to be able to think about what you're going to do in your turn, but it almost doesn't help you, because then you kind of second guess yourself and go down the AP rabbit hole.
Right.
But yeah, I was going to say if AP is a problem, this is a tricky game for you, because there's so much you can do in your turn.
There's and I know there's asymmetrical, like the players that you get, but it's very minor in that too.
Yeah.
But it's. As far as placing, you always want to go there first so you get that extra action, and you find yourself rushing to different areas to go there and just to make sure you get that.
Yeah.
So they get that extra ability. But I like how you can't block.
I do like that too. I do like how you can have multiple people at one space. That I do really like. One thing I was going to say, the rounds, like between your turn, it does take a long time to get around to everybody's turn.
Right.
And there's not much you can do about that. That's just something you just got to be aware of. It does take a while to get back to your turn.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And that's the biggest thing. Like they compare this a lot to Lost Ruins of Arnak. And I would rather play Lost Ruins than this.
Me too.
And I don't know, it's not just the theme, it's also, I think Lost Ruins does some things better.
I would agree too.
Like I said, this makes you want more of all
everything.
Everything that it doesn't ever take it to completion.
No.
I think on a lot of these things.
I completely agree too. I was thinking the other day, I was like, I don't know when I would play this again. You know,
Right.
and also I was like, well, if someone sets it up, would I play it again? I'm like, I don't know if I would. I'd rather play something else, something that does area control better, something else that does deck building better. There are other games out there. I think I'd be willing to play those games over this game.
I would play it if somebody had it set up for me and I walked up to the table, I could play it.
Yeah.
and then walk away.
And then them pack it up.
Yeah, it's a bear.
Yes.
It's a bear
Yeah,
to take
yeah.
out and put it back. So, and I hate that has to become such a big part of review, but it does.
Yeah.
Because when that is your night right there.
Yes,
you know,
it is,
whether you're
yeah.
unpacking it, is it going to be worth that unpacking and that
Yeah.
that challenge of getting it all out there and getting it back? And on this one, I don't know if it is for me.
Yeah.
And it's a fine game. It's
Yeah.
a good game.
Yeah.
I liked it. And
Yeah. I liked it too.
I don't know how often it would hit the table.
Yeah, that is my hesitation with this game too. I just don't know when it would hit the table.
Yeah. So, all right, what's your number?
My number is 7.
7.
What's your number?
All right, my number is actually 7.5.
Okay.
7.5.
Okay.
Mainly because I do like the game. I appreciate what it does.
Me too.
But for me, I can't imagine hitting the table, and that probably does seem high because I do respect how good the game is.
The game is a great game. It's a solid game. Everything clicks and works together. It all makes sense. It works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, it just kind of, it missed the mark, and it didn't really hit home for me.
Yeah.
There are other games that I believe I'd rather have hit the table.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So anyway, that is Endless Winter.
That's
it is summer for us. It melted a bit.
Well, it's always summer in Florida, so
It is.
there you go.
It is. All right. Hey, thank you guys. Thank you guys for
Thanks.
visiting us at Dice Tower for another review.
See you later.
All right. I'm Joey.
I'm Alex.
Bye, guys.
Bye.